I'm here at the 59 East 59th Street Theatre Complex with Rob Drummond, who is currently appearing in Bullet Catch, direct from the Fringe Festival, where it was a very big success. And I saw the show last night, and it's actually wonderful. It's a lovely little parlor environment, and Rob comes in playing the character, which I'll let him explain the origin of the show and how the show came about.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, Bullet Catch. I've been interested in magic I've been debating this in my own mind when I started being interested in magic. Sometimes I think it might have been when I was as young as 5, and other times it might have been when I was about 10. This has got muddled in my mind, but at some point during my childhood I started watching Paul Daniels' magic show every Saturday night, and then my big sister's boyfriend at the time showed me a simple trick, a coin vanish, and he didn't only show me the trick, he showed me how to do it. Which was very important, because if he'd just shown me the trick and not shown me how to do it, I'm not convinced I would have got interested in the mechanics of it. So he showed me this, and I rehearsed it and did it for months and months and years until I was very proficient at it. Started showing it to people, and then I started buying more and more magic tricks from a little shop called Tam Shepherd's in Glasgow. You can buy them online now, but in those days there was no online. So I used to spend all my pocket money on these little magic tricks. And I just built up this bit of a repertoire, and I started putting on magic shows with my family in the front room of my house, and insisting they all gather around and sit there for what can be hours at a time. They smiled politely, I'm sure it was less than perfect. But yeah, so as I grew up and I started getting into theatre, I was asked to pitch ideas to the Arches Theatre Company in Glasgow. This is when I was about 24, I think, so not that long ago, 5-6 years ago. And in thinking about what theatre show I wanted to make, it just seemed obvious that this childhood obsession with magic and my new burgeoning career in theatre needed to coalesce and collide. So I pitched them an idea. I was struggling with what the magic show would be, because I didn't want it to just be a magic show. It had to be something theatrical to it, so that it could exist as a theatre, as a play, and not just a magic show. And then I got thinking about what the most dramatic magic trick was, and that seemed fairly obviously to be the bullet catch. So I pitched an idea to Jackie Wiley at the Arches, where I said, how would you feel about me giving an audience member a gun and asking them to shoot me? And to her eternal credit, she didn't laugh me out the building. She kind of said, how do we make this happen? So I think she got the concept, and she really went with it. So we worked on a show, a very small budget show, next to nothing, in a small basement room of the Arches. The Arches are brilliant theatre for just letting you try stuff. And that show was probably highly suspect in its safety record. We just threw everything at this little room with an audience, and I kind of kept quiet about what was going on so that I didn't get shut down and stuff. And we came up with this show, which was an hour long, and as I say, no budget, when an audience member comes on stage and becomes my lovely glamorous assistant for the night. The show went down pretty well, but I never heard anything about it for the next few years, until we applied to go to the Edinburgh Festival with it, and Creative Scotland, which is a funding body for the arts in Scotland, gave us some money to go and do it properly in a bigger venue. So we went to the Edinburgh Festival with the Transverse Theatre last year, and put it on there. And the show grew. It was kind of like the show, the big brother of the show that I wanted, that I'd done back in the Arches. It was a more mature, and I'd become a better performer in the meantime, and a better writer. So I rewrote it and we reworked it, and I got much more professional team around me rather than just doing it on a shoestring. And so what we created went down really well in Edinburgh. Now, at that festival, a number of things happened. One of which was my mum came up on stage at one point and I gave her the gun. Against my better judgment, I invited her up on stage, because the person who I got up originally didn't want to do the bullet catch. So I thought, right, Mum, you can help me out, So I got my mum up on stage, and she immediately, when I said don't point the gun at anyone for safety reasons, immediately pointed it at my dad in the front row of the audience as a hilarious joke. So she pointed this gun at my dad, and I had to tell her off, because if I don't tell her off, then the drama of the situation fails, the show fails. So I found myself standing on stage telling my mum off for trying to shoot my dad, which it's one of the wonders of this show. One of the most exciting things about this show is you never know what's going to happen next, and that's why I love to keep doing the show, and it never gets boring for me. Another thing that happened in Edinburgh was that the only show ever to have finished inconclusively without the final routine happened with the executive producer at the theatre I'm sitting in now as my volunteer, and I didn't intend that to happen. I just picked a random volunteer. She took part in the show, Elizabeth, and she took part in the show and she was a very good audience member. But at the final moment, she decided not to go ahead with the final illusion, which is fine, and I offer them the chance not to. And so that was the only show to this day that's not finished conclusively. But in the bar afterwards, I met up with her and I made sure she was all right, and she pointed out that she was a theatre producer from New York. I didn't quite know all of that on stage. And she offered me pretty much there and then a slot to come to East 59 Theatres in New York. And so that's how I got here. And in the future, the show is going to go to Brazil, the National Theatre in London. It's going to go to Spoleto Festival. We've got offers from the University of Michigan and Canada and Australia and New Zealand. It's when you go to the Edinburgh Festival with a show, you pray it doesn't bomb, and that's that's the main aim, is don't bomb, don't stink the place up. So to have come out the other side of it with offers from all around the world is just amazing. Amazing, dream come true.
That's great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, have a good one. Good luck.
Thank you.